Hello everybody, and thank you for watching. This is part 1 of my first series of videos, the overview of the Bible. I plan on using this YouTube channel to speak to you all about what the Bible means. In this series, we will be taking a look at the 4 biggest events in the Bible. First is creation, second, the fall, third, the redemption, and finally, the end. This first passage comes from Genesis, the first book in the Old Testament and in the Bible. It's a long one, but Genesis does mean the beginning, and I feel that that's a great place to start. So here we are. Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. Now, that's just part 1 of this, but it already tells us so much. It tells us that there was nothing, and God spoke everything into creation. At this point, there is no earth, and there's just darkness over the face of the deep, and God himself. God created light, and he created goodness in that light. But if you actually look at the old Hebrew translation, that means that God created good and separated it from the darkness, which is called evil. When he called the light day and the darkness night, he gave us as humans something that we could relate to. Now, whether that means that the creation happened within a week, or if you believe in the days of ages theory, meaning that a day to God is so much to us humans, is not nearly as important as the fact that we know that God created this and he chose a day to explain it to us. As this goes on, God created the waters, he created the earth, he created the heavens, he created the seasons, he created the creatures, the fishes, the winged birds. But then in verse 26, then God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the heavens, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God he created him. Male and female he created them. And this is what makes man special. Man was made not only to look like God, but in the image of him. He took God and he said, okay, how can I make a creature that's like me? And he blessed us, just like verse 28 says. And God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the heavens and over every living thing that moves on the earth." And God said, "Behold, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is on the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the heavens, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the 6th day. Now this is phenomenal, because what it tells us is that God created everything, and he trusted man, and he put man in charge of it, because man wasn't like his other creation, but instead was in his image, had the ability to create, and had the ability to make complex decisions. Because yes, the beavers can make dams, and the monkeys can make basic tools, but man can think and feel in a way that an animal cannot. And on the 7th day, God rests. Chapter 2 of Genesis. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them. And on the 7th day, God finished his work that he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work that he had done. Now, that's so important. Not because God needed to rest, but because God chose to rest. He chose to be calm among his people, because God is a leader who leads through example. It's just like when our parents called each other mom and dad. It wasn't because your mom is your dad's mom. It's because your dad wants you to call her mom, and vice versa. The best leaders lead through example. And while just skipping around Genesis 1 and the beginning of Genesis 2, there are a million things I could talk about. I want to focus on why this is important. And this is important because everything was clear and defined. It was good. Why was it good? Well, on the first day, as I said, God separated the light from the darkness. And everything that God made was good. It was pure, and it was for him and man to enjoy. Because God loved him. God still loves him, and that can be hard to see for us. But if we look to the glory of the earth, what good exists in it, and how we have been blessed, how we've taken over this earth, for better or for worse, it shows that God has kept his promise. Thank you for listening to 1-1 Creation. I pray that you take this into consideration as you go through your week, and I hope to see you all back next week. Goodbye.